What's happening, everybody? How's everybody doing today? If I look a little bit strange, it's, well, maybe the setup here in my studio. Just a couple of minutes ago, a huge storm started rolling right through our area here. So I had to make some quick adjustments with some lighting and stuff like that. So hopefully I don't look either too pale, too red, too green, too blue, whatever it happens to be. But anyway, I'm glad to be here with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to kick this off in a big way. It's been a while since I've done live broadcasts like this. It's probably about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. I was doing live broadcasts several times a week. And well, frankly, I got kind of burnt out, doing all those. But I think I've learned my lesson, and I'm going to take a little bit slower pace. But what that means is that every Tuesday at 4 p.m. East Coast time, and remember when we switch that time back and forth, in a couple months, it's still going to be 4 o'clock, okay? And we'll be broadcasting live here. I have a whole lineup of special guests that'll be joining me. We're going to be covering everything for YouTube, for Real Estate Bosses here every Tuesday. It's also being simulcast, if you would, over on Facebook and on YouTube, the YouTube channel. So if you have one or the other, you can watch it there. And also, just to let you know, you can actually comment as well, okay? So your comments will appear right before me. It looks like I've already got a few comments coming in. Let's see what they look like. Let's see, we got, just a few people. Tracy, Chris, Greg. Yeah, welcome all to the broadcast. Appreciate you being here. And like I was saying, we're going to have a whole bunch of people join us, and we're going to take you through every single step of the way. 100% free coaching on YouTube for Real Estate Bosses, okay? So that means everything from the soup to the nuts, all the way from the beginning to the end. Everything from building your channel out to going ahead and maximizing your optimization for your videos, so that way you get the most click-through rates and you get the most average view duration, okay, AVD. Now, some of you that are tuning in today may have seen me recently. I was in San Antonio at the Zero to Diamond Tour last week. That was an awesome event, I have to tell you. The energy, I'm still kind of electrified from the whole thing. It was so much fun. I had so many takeaways from that event, so many things that I learned from these speakers as well. But not only the speakers, from the agents, because when we do these events, it's not like you have the speakers show up on stage and then they disappear. No, we actually interact with the agents, with the audience. We want people to ask questions. We want to be able to help them. So that was really great. It was a fantastic experience. Welcome, Karen, to the show as well. And yeah, what I want to do is kind of kick this off a little bit differently, because if I had put this in the notes when it went out to everyone, when I sent out the emails or when I posted in Facebook or on YouTube, that this is what I really wanted to talk about in the very beginning, I think the viewership may have dipped a little bit. But this is really cool. I came across this not too long ago, and it really kind of sets the stage for what we'll be talking about today and kind of where we're going to go with the whole thing. But this is really important, and I know you guys have heard this up to your eyeballs and above, okay? It's about mindset, and I'm not going to talk about the traditional mindset. What I want to do is share with you a quick video from Sir Anthony Hopkins, okay? I came across this not too long ago, like I said, and this, he cannot have said this any better, any more accurately. So I want to share right in the beginning, and I'm going to jump back in and then pick it up from there. We're going to get right into best practices for your channel, answer your questions, and everything else that you may have, right? So let me just check to make sure we're clear comments. Okay, cool. Well, let me go ahead and roll the video.
All you people all over the world, wherever you are, I know it's a tough one. I'm an old dude. I've been around for years. I live with optimism. But to all you guys, all you youngsters, who feel thwarted and put down and hopeless, believe me one thing. I read someone, I can't remember whether it was in the Old Testament or I think it was a shaman, maybe Carlos Castaneda, but the shaman said there was a drought. Cattle were dying, people were dying in a desert. And the shaman said, build the ditches, dig the ditches for the rain. And they said, there is no rain. Dig the ditches and the rain will come. Now, you non-believers may say, oh, that's nonsense. Well, believe what you want. That's the rational mind. I don't think the rational mind is working too well at the moment. It's the irrational mind, the subconscious. All my life, when I was a little boy, I dreamed of where I am now. I may have had a vision, I don't know. Didn't have much hope, but everything happened for me. And now I believe that we can condense time. We can pull it to ourselves. It's not about the future. Oh, I'm going to do something next year. It doesn't exist. Tomorrow doesn't exist. The next hour does not exist. It's all potential. But what we can do is drag the time into the present, now, into the solar plexus of our soul. Build the ditches. Whatever you want to do, believe it, believe it, believe it, even if you don't believe. Play the game of belief. Act as if you believe. That is power. That is sheer power. And it will happen, believe you me, from an old fool like me. It's worked in my life, it will work in yours. So never give up. Believe, believe, believe. I don't care if you're atheist or agnostic or anything. Believe, believe, believe.
So yeah, that was really powerful, and it really sent a message to me, and I hope it resonates with you as well, in not only what you do in your daily life, but in your business life, and more specifically when it comes to doing your videos, okay? For those that maybe called me out there in Texas last week, or maybe saw the replay that's over on Ricky's channel, you know, one of the things that I said right up in the beginning of my presentation was that doing videos sucks. It does. It's hard. And if you take Sir Anthony's advice and believe, okay, I have seen it transform people's lives, okay, not just their YouTube channel, not just the amount of attention that they're getting, but it's changed their entire lives. Does it take a long time? Sometimes it depends on how much work you put into it. But if you believe it will happen, it will happen. Stick with me. Try the tried and true methodologies that I'll be sharing with you. I'll be answering your questions about to build your channel and to start attracting business to you. That's what it's all about. You know, I'm a really big proponent of that as well, because I want people to be attracted to me through my videos, okay? That's how I gain so much of my business. And it's a fantastic way of doing it, because your videos, when you get it right, okay, they live on forever. Well, until you take them down, of course, but they're there someplace, and they resonate with people. There are people out there looking every single day for answers. That's why they're going to YouTube, because they want to know how to do something. They want to know, what is a city or a town like to live in? What are the things that I should look out for? What are the things that I should look for? Okay, so a lot of different things, and that's the power of the videos, whether it's on YouTube or whatever other platform you put them on. And we'll talk about that down the road a little bit as well. You have to be very careful where you put them. But in any case, the bottom line really is that if you believe and you put in the work, it will happen. You know, I work with agents on a daily basis, and I got to tell you, the excitement that I feel when I get a text or when I get a phone call or when I get a message saying, I just got a buyer. I just listed a house because of my video. And to me, that's so exciting to be able to help people do that, to enhance their lives and their families' lives, and really bring it to the next level. So that's what we're all about. That's what we're going to be doing. So without any further ado, what I'm going to do is just kind of jump into it. If you all have any questions, please let me know. I see a bunch of people here that have joined the call as well. But if you have questions, you know, challenges about what you're doing now, whether you have an existing channel or whether you have a brand new channel, doesn't make a difference to me. I've been doing this a really, really long time, and there's not too many things that I haven't seen or been able to help somebody with. So really, going back to what I did broadcast out there, which was, you know, really starting your channel and the best practices for it, let's kind of talk about that for a little bit, because that's really where it all begins, okay? Of course, it began when you had the thought that, hey, I should be doing videos, and probably YouTube is my best platform or format for doing them, and you're right, it is. But it takes some dedication, it takes some work. The good news is, once you do that work, Okay, you don't have to go back and do a lot of it again. Okay, it's set in stone. Okay, you can change things up, sure, but for the most part, you really don't have to go back and do anything else. So, setting up your channel correctly is paramount to being a successful creator and having people watch your videos. And there's just a few things that you really have to keep in mind when you're doing it. One of the first things that I get asked so many times is, well, what if I don't like my channel name? Well, here's the good news. You can change it. And you can change it just about as often as you like. I'd be careful doing that a little bit too, because the more you change it, the more you're going to confuse people. Okay? And eventually, yes, you can. Once you get to only 100 subs, 100 subscribers, you'll be able to put a customized channel name in the URL. But you can call your channel anything that you want. I would suggest you probably, and this is going back to best practices, you probably want to include your name and or the city, town that you live in and that your videos are about, right? That is going to help people realize when they find your channel, that's what they're looking for and that's what they should be doing. And it's going to let those other folks who don't have any interest in your town or city keep moving on, because, well, as you'll learn through all of these broadcasts that I'm doing with you, that you do want people to move on. Okay, you don't like everyone you meet, and not everyone is going to like you either. But if the people that are watching your videos don't like you, and they're just watching it for a few seconds or a minute or two, and then they're zooming off someplace else, well, that's not going to do a whole lot for your channel. Okay, as a matter of fact, it's going to hurt your videos. And when that starts happening, well, YouTube knows that. Believe me, they know everything, and they are going to start pulling back on the impressions that they're putting out there, whether they're doing a straight impression, a browse impression, or doing a suggested, whatever it happens to be. They're going to start pulling back and yeah, people really aren't digging this too much. They really aren't watching these videos. They're not that great. And it's not because it may not be great as in the quality that you're giving them, the relevancy. It could be just the wrong audience that you're targeting, and or the wrong audience that's picking up on your videos, and they're just bouncing back out again. So that really kind of hurts it. So we want to make sure that we are actually creating a channel that people know what they're getting, what to expect right up front. So that's one of the very first things you really want to do when you start your new channel, is to do the about. So many people leave that blank. Okay, they don't even see it there. They're kind of blind to it. But just like your websites, you have an about section, right? And that about section tells people, well, what you're about. Okay, I've seen a lot of corny ones. I've seen a lot of vanity ones. I've seen all kinds of different ones. But what you want to do is tell people in your about section of your channel really what to expect, okay? And you don't have to be doing videos just on one topic all the time, or just on your city. You could do surrounding cities or towns. You can do different things, experiment a little bit. And really, in the beginning, when you're starting off your channel, when you're kicking it off, the folks that have been through my group training and one-on-one training and everything else, they'll tell you, the first 10 videos are basically an experiment, okay? So you get your channel together and you start doing those first few videos, 10 videos or so, and that's kind of an experiment. You're teaching YouTube, and YouTube is finding your niche for you, okay? So that's really important. Don't forget to do it. Put your about in there. And do me a favor, don't go and copy your about from your website and just copy and paste it in there, because, well, that's really not too cool. People are going to look deeper at you when they see your videos. If they like your videos, if they like you, what they're going to do is they're going to go out and they're going to search for you on social media. And if they see the same thing over and over and over again, well, to them, that's a little bit boring. They want more insight into you, who you are. Okay, so make that about very, very unique. Make it fantastic. And another way to do that as well, because, well, now you're in the video business, right? You're a creator. So what you really want to do, and you have the ability to do this setting up your channel, is you get an opportunity to present a video to people that have not subscribed to your channel yet. And it's the same video. And you can use that as your about. Okay, so do your written about over underneath that tab. But when you want to put your video in there that people will watch when they come to your channel. I'm sure you've seen this before if you've been, using YouTube for any length of time. You're going to see that video, and that video can be your about. Again, I've seen tons of them. I'm still working on a new one. It's been a work in progress for a while, but one of the things that kind of I noticed was that a lot of agents want to kind of create this very glossy, very Hollywood, very, mystical, magical kind of a video about, basically that they're great, okay? Sure, you could talk about some of your accomplishments, but that's not what people really want to know. What people want to know is they want to get to know you, okay? They want to see your personality. They want to learn things about you. They want another reason to follow you, right? To subscribe to your channel and to, when the time is right for them, to talk about real estate for them with you. And that lowers that threshold for them being able to do it. The more they know about you, the more that they will know you, like you, and they will trust you. You've heard me talk about this if you followed me for any period of time. That's the parasocial thing, and it works, okay? It's a little bit creepy because you don't know them at all, and I get phone calls, emails, and texts every single day from people telling me things about my videos, things about me. They notice things in my studio or whatever it happens to be, and I'm like, okay, I'm used to it now, but in the beginning it gets a little creepy, but that's what you want. You want to build that relationship, that rapport with them, because that's what this is. It is a attraction. It's not lead generation, okay? It's relationship generation, and that's what it does. So again, setting up your channel correctly right from the start really helps with that, because people, they will take a deep dive into your channel and they will look. The longer your channel has been around, the more videos you put out, the more information they have about you, and they're going to take a deep dive into that. So, that's what you want to do with the about. You definitely want to put that video into place. And just kind of a pro tip here as well, as soon as you get your first 1 or 2 videos done, there's another section that you can customize your channel with, and that's putting in a video for people that have already subscribed to your channel. And what that does is it allows your newest, your freshest video that you've just produced, that you've just dropped into YouTube, you could put it in that place, in that section, so that when people come back that have already subscribed, they're watching your latest work, okay? They're not watching your about again. Now, they could always find it within your videos, but that's a story for another day. So that's the second thing, okay? You have your about, you have your video for non-subscribers, then you have one for your subscribers. And that one is always changing every time you drop a new video. And that's a huge question that I get a lot. I've done, if you're on the YouTube channel and you look at it, I've done tons of shorts recently on this channel, and a lot of them address this situation. How often should I drop a video? How often should I do it? And really, there is no right or wrong answer. In the beginning, you want to be consistent. I would say probably 1 a week for that first 8 to 10 weeks or so. Again, to get the algorithm kind of up and running, get it kind of, oiled up a little bit for you so that it knows what to do and what to expect. But I know folks, and I do this too, I drop sometimes 2-3 videos a week. That really helps when it comes to your overall library of videos for people to choose from when they get there, especially if they're concurrent with other videos, part 1, part 2, part 3, etc. But really what it does is it allows people to again get to know you a little bit more, and then to share with other people that are interested, their significant other, whatever that happens to be. We don't get into the pronouns here. I stay away from all that stuff. But anyway, they share it, and it becomes something that they're bringing other people into your ecosystem, okay? And that's really what you want to do by creating that library. So, the answer, like I said, there is no right or wrong, really. Well, there is. I mean, just don't post one video and go away for 8 months and then come back and do another one and expect, sales to be coming through the door. That's not going to happen. But be consistent in the beginning, teach the algorithm, get it going. And I could tell you, I have walked away for sometimes months, 2-3 months, and my videos are still working out there. And that's the key of these videos, okay, of your channel, is that it's still there. There are so many people that haven't seen your videos before, and they're finding them. So to them, they're fresh, they're new, okay, and they're getting that information that you're delivering, that relevancy that they're looking for. But you can take a step back a little bit. So this is not, torture where you're going to have to, for the next 5 years, do one video a week. No, that's not the case. It's really nice when you're kicking back in the mountains, at the beach, out on your boat, maybe you're just out taking a walk. You wake up in the morning and you look at your phone and you have a text saying, hey, we're moving to your town in a few months. Love your videos. Would love to talk to you about what we're doing. Well, you're sleeping, you were boating, you were fishing, you were doing whatever, and your videos are working for you, okay? And again, the proper way of setting that up is by correctly creating your channel right from the beginning. So we talked about a few things right now. Let me see if we got any comments up here. Oh, we got one. Let's see. Who do we have here? We have a Facebook user. Okay. Does having an avatar limit your client base? An avatar? No, not really. But I'm going to assume one thing, and that the avatar you're talking about is kind of like a drawing, a creation, an animation, or something like that. If that is what you are talking about, then that's going to probably hurt you. Okay, and the reason for that is that it's really simple. The name of the platform is YouTube. The first word being you. People want to see you. That's what it's about. Okay, so if you come up with an avatar that's a representative of you, people really don't latch on to that very well. They want to see your smiling face. They want to hear your voice. They want to see your mannerisms, your sense of humor, or, of course, in my case, the lack thereof, right? So you want to be front and center with this. And I get that a lot of people have this block in front of them, okay? This hurdle of the way that they look or the way that they sound on videos. I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. Here's reality. The minute you get out of your car to walk up to shake your new client's hand for the very first time, the time that you open up the door to invite them in for the very first time, for this first time you walk into a restaurant and sit down with them, that's you. You can't change who you are. They're going to hear your voice. You can change the color of your hair, get a cut and longer, shorter, whatever, but they're going to hear your voice. They're going to see you. They're going to understand your mannerisms. And you, if you've been selling real estate for a while, even if you haven't, you're looking to bring them to a safe island, right? You want them to feel comfortable with you. You want them to have a commonality with you. And you're doing that in person. And that's exactly what you're doing here with yourself, okay? Not an avatar. You're putting yourself out there. It is something that many people speak about with me. They don't like the way that they look, sound, whatever. You just have to really get past it, okay? The alternative is just to go do podcasts where it's just your audio only and you're, delivering some information that way, which is not a bad thing to do with your videos to repurpose them down the road. But right now, you want to be front and center. You want to be on that stage. You want them to watch you, like you, and then start to trust you, okay? So that's it. Let me check to see if there's anything else right now. No, we're good as far as the comments go. Let me just stop right there for a second because I've laid down a lot of stuff. We're into this almost for 30 minutes already. What other questions or challenges do you have right now? Whether you have a channel or not doesn't make a difference. Some of the challenges and questions, if you do have can't even mumble straight anymore. The questions, if you do have a channel, sometimes can be a little bit more complex. But, drop it in there. You guys have the ability to, I think from both from YouTube, I've got monitors on either side so I can see what's going on. And kind of see from there. No, I think we're good. Okay, we are clear of all comments. So let's dive into kind of the second part of the channel creation. Channel art is probably one of the next most important things that you need to really focus on. Creating channel art can be easy, it can be fun, it can be absolutely infuriating, frustrating, make you want to pull your hair out. Yeah, I used to have hair. Because the template that it has to fit into, that template needs to be shown on all different devices, whether it's a phone, a tablet, and believe it or not, a TV, okay, and a desktop or laptop, whatever. So it has to be within the constraints of the template in order for it to be seen all over. So you're trying to take a lot of information and bring it into a very, very, very small platform. So you have to be very clear in what your channel is about and stating what they can expect by watching your channel. And again, I've seen a couple avatars out there, a couple of drawings of people. Sometimes they're pretty cool, sometimes they're, well, not so cool. But, you want to be kind of, again, front and center in that photo so people recognize you, okay? People will recognize you from your videos, believe me, okay? I get it all the time. I've shared a lot of different stories with people, and maybe later on in this broadcast I'll get to one of them, but people will start to recognize you, okay? So you want to make that channel art something that will make them stop and look at your channel above someone else's channel, okay? Not quite the same thing as a thumbnail, but we're talking about channel art. So you want to be present in it. You want to be very concise in what you're saying about your channel, okay? Something as simple as, I help people buy and sell real estate in Charleston. And by the way, if you didn't know, that's where I am. That's where I'm broadcasting live from here. It's been a while since I've used YouTube, listen to me. Been a while since I have used our StreamYard here. But yes, I can even do this. This is pretty cool. Live from beautiful Charleston, South Carolina. That's where we're broadcasting from. But, getting back to it, your folks, they will recognize you. They will want to know what the channel is about instantly. Okay, you have a nanosecond to grab their attention. Okay, so it has to be clean, concise, and telling them what your channel is about. Okay, I think I just saw another comment pop in. Let me take a look. What's the best way to start? Let's see, let's throw this up there. What is the best way to start producing videos? Apps, items needed to produce. Yeah, that's a big question. You really should start out with the basics, and I always suggest to people that they start out with their videos being done on a phone, okay? You already own the phone. That phone's probably close to $1,000, if not more. It's got a really good camera in there. It has built-in stabilization in there. The only other thing you may need is either a desktop tripod or maybe just a regular tripod where you can actually go ahead and set it up on the tripod so you can film yourself. And I get that question a lot too, how do you film yourself? And there's kind of a methodology to it, which I will share with you down the road just a little bit. But the best way to start producing them, and I shared this the other day, that's the equipment part. You need a good microphone, right? But I shared this the other day from the stage in Texas. What you need to actually do is reverse engineer your videos, okay? You can go out, search YouTube, and you can find a bunch of videos that basically are all the same. Top 5 things that you'll love about San Diego. 5 top things that I wish I knew about San Diego before moving here. Okay, gotcha. Well, those may or may not work. But really what you want to do is, if you have a concept for a video, you start you reverse engineer that, right? So you use some tools and systems, things like TubeBuddy, things like Keywords Everywhere, things like even CoSchedule.com, and you start to see how that concept is resonating with people that are on YouTube now, that are that have watched past videos like that on YouTube. CoSchedule.com, that's a headline grader, okay? So you could put your headline in there, and it gives you a lot of facts about how good your headline is. So it takes a little playing around with, but once you get that done, then you can move on to the next step, okay? Think about it, figure out what works. We'll talk about TubeBuddy. We'll talk about how to use keywords everywhere. We'll talk about how to use CoSchedule in depth, okay? Just not today. As far as apps go, there's a ton of apps out there. I know people that still make their videos and use apps to do the editing. Me, with these big old fat fingers, that's not a reality for me. I've been using an editing suite for years, but you can do that. There are some other apps out there that you can use that will kind of generate a shorter version of your video for you. It'll kind of just take different highlights and then kind of stick them together, and sometimes they have some motion graphics that go through it. That's okay if you're doing a short and putting that on YouTube. If you're doing longer form, you really don't want to do that, okay, because that's kind of going to mess up your algorithm, especially in the beginning, and that's what we're talking about, the channel, right? Items needed to produce. So it's a three-part question, apparently. So the items that you need, like I said, your phone, the camera there will work amazing for you, okay? You can even do the blurred background kind of a thing if you like to do that. A microphone. Microphone, you can get them as cheap as $10 on Amazon. A wired lapel, okay? I've said this time and time and time again. There's nothing worse than a video that has horrible audio, okay? Nothing. You might as well just throw it out and start again. Because people can't hear you. Yeah, you could put subtitles in there, but for the most part, people want to hear what you're saying. So that's the second thing. You can get fancy down the road and get wireless mics, or you can get a boom mic, depending on the kind of videos that you're producing. You know, you could be doing a vlog where you might need to have a lavalier mic, you know, that's wired or not. The same thing, you know, if you're doing a vlog and you've got your phone, it's kind of hard to hold the phone with your hand and kind of get everything done. So you may need like a handheld gimbal or something like that. But for the most part, those are the two most important things you need. You know, kind of a pro tip here, what you want to also do is be very cognizant of where your light is, especially if you're doing a vlog, if you're outside, okay? If you're standing and with the sun at your back, you're going to turn into a silhouette. People will not be able to distinguish you at all because you're just going to be a shadow, okay? They won't be able to see your face or anything else. So just be cognizant of that. If you're doing a talking head, well, this is pretty much a talking head video right here. What you need then is basically the same exact things. The phone, the microphone, some kind of tabletop tripod or handheld gimbal that turns into a tripod. That's all you really need. You have more control over your environment there. You can use lighting, okay? You guys can't see it here, but, you know, I've got different lights all over. I have light boxes. I have LED lights. I've got all kinds of different things that'll adjust the lighting for the kind of mood that I want to set for the video. So that's really all you need. One thing I will share with you now about that, you know, when you start doing long form YouTube videos, and I'm talking 10 minutes plus, I don't know about you all, and as long as I've been doing this, it's something I've never been able to accomplish, which is reading, comprehending, and then regurgitating a script, okay, a long script. I've done a lot of acting on stage, actually on television as well, and you know, I can't remember 10 minutes. I can't talk for 10 minutes straight of dialogue that I've memorized, okay? Maybe sometimes, you know, your video might be 15 minutes or sometimes even 20. So there is a workaround. The workaround is really kind of simple. You know, there are some creators out there that believe that, well, you know, if you use a teleprompter, you know, that's not being authentic. it is being authentic because you put it together. Okay, so that would be the only other thing that I would suggest you would need to start producing your videos. Okay, and the teleprompters, they're cheap. You can get one. What do I use? Elegant Teleprompter Pro, and that will go on your phone, and you can actually move the text itself right up to where the camera is. So you're seeing the text, but it looks like you're looking at the camera. Okay. When so when you get into those long forms, that's something that will help you out. Be very clear about your process. Vlogging is one thing, talking heads are another. They are usually easier to start out with because you're in more control of the environment and your equipment. Okay, you're not running out of batteries, or you're not waiting for the sun to come back out, or you're dealing with barking dogs, crying kids, motorcycles going by, trucks going by, airplanes above, all that kind of stuff. That really can mess with you. If you had any experience doing any of that, you know exactly what I mean. It can get tough doing it outside. So start off inside. Sit at your desk. You don't need a fancy studio. Okay, you can use a green screen if you'd like. Okay, you don't need one in the beginning, but just have an attractive and clean. Don't have it cluttered, a clean looking background, and use that to launch your channel and start getting going. That's all you really need. Down the road, when you've landed a few deals, and this has always been my philosophy, after you've landed a few deals and things are humming along for you, sure, you can go get that Sony, not wireless, but mirrorless DSLR camera. Sure, you can do that. You can go and get GoPros. You can go and get all kinds of different equipment, but don't rush into that. Usually, that comes afterwards. Now, I've met some people that have gone the opposite way, and they've got a $5,000 or $6,000 or $8,000 invoice for all this equipment that they bought, and now they're saying, now what? Well, I like to start off the other way. I like to coach people the other way. Use what you have right now and build up to that. Once you get to that success level where it's become second nature to you, you are maybe doing batch videos, which means that you're filming 2 and 3 or 4 at one sit down, then go ahead and make that investment. But right now, there's no really any real reason to go ahead and do that. You're just spending a lot of money, and that kind of dovetails into something that I did want to talk about as well, because we are talking about your channel and setting it up, and as I mentioned earlier about how difficult it is to do the videos, and I would say that probably 2 out of 3 people that I speak to about videos, whether I'm just talking to them, giving them some coaching, some free coaching, or whatever it happens to be, or it's one-on-one, or it's a group. Unfortunately, they just kind of give up, and that gets back to the very beginning, the video in the beginning with Sir Anthony. Okay, you have to believe, and if you believe, it will happen. Okay, I'm not saying, if you believe in Santa Claus, he's going to appear. If you believe in the Easter Bunny, he's going to appear. No. Okay, I'm saying if you believe in yourself, if you believe in the process, if you believe in sticking to your routine, then things will happen for you. All of a sudden, just out of nowhere, things start happening. You start getting comments on your videos. Then you start getting questions about your videos. And then you get people sending you messages telling you, hey, think your videos are great. I want to know more. Tell me more. We're thinking about moving there. So it's tough to do it. And like I said, the fallout rate is big. In the industry, it's big anyway, okay? We know that, 2 out of 3 agents basically, that started this year will not be here next year. Because, there's a lot of unanticipated things that they didn't expect to happen, or things that they needed to have happen. And then all of a sudden they find out they're a marketing company, okay, and they're an advertising company, and then they're a real estate agent on top of it, and then there are, all these other hats that they have to wear in order to, get up off the ground. Okay. Let's see. We got another comment here. Let's throw this on up here. Where can I find the book that you mentioned at the Zero to Diamond talk? Yeah, I can help you out with that. I think you all have my email address. If you don't, I will give it to you now. It's keith@keithlucasteam.com. Send me an email. I'll send you back the book. And even better yet, just go to YouTube for realestatebosses.com. It'll take you right to the page. Put your information in. A few seconds later, the book will magically appear in your email. So either way, send me an email or just go to YouTube for realestatebosses.com and you'll get it there. So kind of continuing on, I don't want to bring anybody down. I don't want anyone to give up before they even started, but I also, I'm a practical person. I understand what it's like to go through it and to see other people go through it, agents to go through it. There is a piece of advice that I would give you, because when you do start to generate business from your videos, there becomes a push me, pull me kind of a thing that goes into effect. And you turn around and say, hey, Keith, I've got, a new listing. I've got 3 new listings. I've got 3 new buyers that I have to work with. What if I don't do my videos? What happens? And here's my advice. Always do the most income producing thing first. Okay? Remember what I said a little bit earlier in today's discussion. Well, really not a discussion since I'm the only one speaking. But anyway, if you can make the money, okay, from doing those sales, whether the buy side, sell side, doesn't make a difference. Don't worry about the videos. Those videos are going to be working for you 24/7, okay, 365. Gosh, I hate that statement, but it's true. It does work like that for you. And so you can step away a little bit. Like I spoke about, sometimes I step away for 2 or 3 months and not produce anything. So you can do that too. And not worry about it. Do the income producing things first. Go ahead and take care of your clients. Okay, you owe it to them. You have a fiduciary responsibility to help them, to work for them. Don't be in the playground of YouTube when your clients are trying to buy a house or sell a house. You will attract more clients down the road. Don't worry about it. It will happen. But, that's just kind of a word of advice. Because when you do become successful on your channel and people are watching your videos all over and they're sharing them and they're commenting and everything else, you get busy. And, there's something else I wanted to share on this topic right now with you about, because I'm in Texas last week. I had a brief conversation with someone who is selling a lot of homes, and it's become a struggle to do that. And the question was, what's the best advice can you give me about doing this? And there's 2 answers. Both of them are right. One can be a VA, but the other one, which I opt for, and I try to instill in the folks in the coaching programs to do when you get that busy. Okay, reach out and see if you can find a teammate. Okay, someone that's with your brokerage preferably. If not, then maybe you could cross-pollinate a little bit, but find someone that can help you take those leads or relationships and close the deals for you. Again, because you're doing your deals and you're doing your videos, and you just can't do everything in the time that everyone has. Okay, we only have so much time in a day, so go ahead and find that person where you work out whatever commission split between the 2 of you that makes you comfortable, and you go from there. You don't have to give up everything in order to be successful at selling a lot of homes or attracting a lot of business into your channel, okay, because you're not there doing the videos. You can't have the best of both worlds. It allows me to do that, okay. I get to travel and I get to coach, okay. I go to these events and other events, and it frees me up that time to be able to do that. So think about that. Let that resonate with you a little bit. But to kind of reflect back on today's conversation a little bit, setting up your channel the right way is paramount. I gave you a few little pieces today that you can do right away. Okay, your channel art, your video for returning non-subscribers, doing your about. Okay, if you start off with those things right there, believe me, it's going to take you a little bit longer than you think. Put those together first. Okay, name your channel. That's the other one. And go from there. And then you're ready to start producing videos. Okay, but get that set up first. There's a lot of other things that go into that as well. There's a lot of tips and tricks, and I'll be sharing those with you, on the YouTube channel, the YouTube for Real Estate Bosses channel, where you can set things up. Like I said before, you can set them up so it's always the same, constantly always the same. You don't have to go back and repeat these steps time and time and time again. So you can go ahead and do that as well. We'll get into all that stuff. Look for the shorts that I put out there, because it'll give you lots of information on how to do that. And then, once you get that kind of accomplished, okay, you can move on to other things, like putting together your playlists. Okay, you want them to be organized so that people can see, a certain topic of videos, and they know what to expect within that video. And you can do an about section for that playlist. You can also segment your lists as well, where you can put them in an order that you want people to see them, okay? And you can segment them so it looks very, very clean and super, super organized, because you're dealing with, John Q. Public out there, and you never know who you're going to come across. You want to make it as simple and easy, foolproof for them as possible to be able to find videos that they want to watch, okay? So you build those playlists, you do your segmenting of the playlists. And then there's so much more that you could do to kind of tweak that. By default, YouTube will take your latest video and it moves it all the way back to the end of your playlist. You need to be able to know that to be able to go in, grab it, and move it up to the front, because, well, at least in this country, we read from left to right. We scan things from left to right when we're looking at them visually. And if they're seeing your video that you made 2 months ago, 2 years ago first, they're like, no, don't think so. But if they see the very first video that came out 2 days ago, they'll be like, oh, a brand new video. Let's watch it. So there's things like that to understand, to build your channel, so that way, again, it gets optimized and gives people the best chance to find what it is that they're looking for. I'm going to take a sip of water here real quick. We're coming up on an hour. If anybody else has got any other questions, go ahead and throw them out there. I will get to them, I promise, before we close off the broadcast today. But let's see, what do we got? Anything coming in? Okay. Well, it looks like the thunderstorms here have abated. As I mentioned, every Tuesday at 4 o'clock East Coast time, with the rare exception that I'm traveling someplace or I can't get to a computer, we'll be meeting here. Make sure that if you haven't gotten my book yet, you can do it. It's How I Make $60 a Minute Doing Video. It's 3 easy steps. Anybody can do it. It's proven itself year after year after year after year after year. So if you do it, if you follow it, you will start seeing business coming in to you. Okay, it's not a magic bullet. You have to do a lot of other work, but it's 3 simple steps. Because a lot of people will just take their videos and they post them and then they hope for the best. Well, as you'll learn here on this channel, that's not really what's going to happen. You're going to have to work at it. and you have to use them other places. You have to repurpose them as well. So we're going to be talking about all those different things. Okay, get the book, YouTube4RealEstateBosses.com. If you have questions during the week, you can reach out to me through the Facebook group. If you have videos that you've done and you want to get some feedback from the group, this is a very, very cool group, okay? There's a couple hundred people in here. There's more people joining every single day. I've got a bunch of people over in a different place that I'm starting to migrate over to this one. And we really are very supportive in this group. So if you've got something, whether it's an idea, whether it's a thought, whether it's a problem, whatever it is, put it out there. And I or someone in the group will definitely get to answering it for you just to help you get through it. You know, I don't want to see anyone kind of evaporate, okay, and just go away and say, wow, that's just not for me. Every single person has the ability to do this, okay? You may have a special talent. You may not have a special talent. It doesn't make a difference, okay? What does make a difference is that you believe. Just what Sir Anthony said. You believe that it will happen, and it will happen. You know, I was speaking to someone not too long ago, and you know, back in the day when I owned a brokerage, it was kind of mandatory reading for any agent that I brought on board one of my brokerages. And that mandatory reading was How to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't read it, pick it up. I believe it's free on Amazon. And that really speaks to what not only Sir Anthony was talking about, but what I'm talking about as well, is you have to keep going, okay? You all may have seen, you know, there's a meme out there where there's a guy with a pickaxe in a cave, or he's, you know, hitting the wall, and the next photo in the meme is, you know, he's dropping the hammer and he's starting to walk away, or he's starting to drop. He dropped the pickaxe and he's walking away. And then the last picture is there's just this thin wall between where he was hitting the rock with his pickaxe and the big stack of diamonds on the other side. So don't give up. Yep, just got another comment here. There we go. Great book. Yes, it is. Is this the correct URL? This is the correct URL. Correctamundo. So if you sign up there, you will be delivered to your inbox. I'm going to start wrapping things up. I got to tell you, I've had a real blast being here again. I have missed this. To do a live broadcast and to be able to share so much with people. And I hope that it inspires you. I hope that it motivates you. I hope that this is something that you're not going to say, that's for somebody else. You know, someone else that's, you know, smarter, prettier, you know, has a different accent. No, you know, stick with it. I'm telling you, it will work if you put in the work. Okay, it's really that simple. And, you know, you look back in a very short amount of time, a year or less, and you'll be like, wow, yeah, I cried. There was blood. There was sweat. But, you know, I've got to giddy up in my step again as I'm heading over to the bank with yet another commission check. And that's where I want to see you all end up, okay, as many as possible, okay? Let's see, anything else? Let's see, I got a message here. And that's never a good thing. When I try the URL, I get an error message. The site is not available. Holy buckets. Let me try that and see if that is working system-wide or maybe just a little. Nope, there it is. I am going to put it in the right here. Give me just a second to put a banner up. Create a banner. And let's see, here we go. So let me get rid of the comment first. There we go. That is it right there. Yeah, that's a little bit different because I went to the actual site, but that forwards it over. So if you guys want to jot this down, or if you want to just rewatch this video, which will be available in just a few minutes after I finish the broadcast, you can get it there. But YouTube for real estate or real-state-bosses.mailchimpsites.com. Anyway, it's on MailChimp. That's who the delivery system is. Check it out. Let me know if you have any other problems. Happy to help you. And with all that being said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And I want to help each and every one of you achieve what it is that you want to achieve with your videos, with your channel, for your clients, and for your family. Okay? So make sure to tune in when you can. Watch the replays whenever you can. Ask questions. And I look forward to growing your channel and your business with you. Okay, folks, thanks so much. I do appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Rock on. There we go.